and we are joined in the studio live by Sharon Sutton. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, how are you? Long time no speak.
Yes.
Do you know, it's always nice to see somebody coming back, because you've been here before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's been happening then with you as far as your life? What's been going on?
All sorts. My Facebook page, which is called Me, Bipolar and I, has been quite busy. I've had a few people message me in regards to wanting help, and they're worried about coming up to Christmas time, and how they're going to manage then, because it can be quite stressful. So they're wanting help, which affects their mental health a bit, because, like I say, they get absolutely stressed about it. Other than that, I've been writing poems and blogs for the Huffington Post, and they've been shared quite a lot, so they're going round the globe, which is getting me more recognition, which obviously that's really good.
Yeah, and of course, you've been, more than, there's only 24 hours in a day, but you've been extremely busy, haven't you, with all this stuff going on?
Oh, yeah, I've had quite a few emails inviting me to London and different conferences and at different events, but the London thing, it was offering me to be one of 16 faces of Time to Change, and to get that far, they wanted me to submit a blog, so I did that, and from then, they accepted me to go to London and have a photo shoot. So hopefully within the next couple of years, those photographs will be released, to promote the mental health charity Time to Change, which in turn will, get them recognition when they release the images.
And of course, you've been you've just joined a gym as well, keeping active.
Oh yeah, that's good for me mental health, because it keeps me focused, gets out any anger issues. Not that I'm an angry person, but when you get wound up a little bit and stressed now and again, it helps release those emotions a little bit. So I used to go to the gym, but then I stopped going. But now that I'm going back with my sister's help, because she's a personal trainer, I've been offered to do a 28-day fat flush challenge. No denying, I find that hard. I'd be lying if I said otherwise. However, once a week or two's passed, I think I'll have me more headset into carrying that on, because I really don't want to give up. But it's hard because I'm not allowed any dairy products within that month. But quite a lot of people have signed up to do this boot camp challenge, and whoever loses the most weight in that month wins £250, and my aim is to win that money to spend on my children for Christmas. However, the aim is to lose £10 in a month, but I'm hoping to lose that little bit more, because I'm going to the gym as well as boot camp.
So do you think that keeping busy actually provides relief for mental health, and in particular bipolar? Like, if you've got an active and busy mind, then it takes your mind off other things associated with mental health, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said earlier, it promotes me to get out of bed, and when I haven't got such a busy day, then I'll go to the gym to fill in time, and that makes me feel better, because I'm more energised, more awake, and it makes me feel good in general.
Right.
Even though it's hard work.
Of course it is, especially like you were talking about your diet and having to cut out all the things that you enjoy.
Oh yeah, I think it's hard for anybody. My diet's not like 100%. I eat quite a lot of convenience food, and if the kids leave anything after the evening dinner, when they come back in from school, I eat their bits. I feed them healthily on fruit and veg and things, but sometimes I really do have a bit of a meltdown and just eat junk what I want. I've got an unbelievably sweet tooth,
Right.
so that doesn't help.
It's so pity, isn't it, that as I was saying before, Sharon, that things that are bad for you, or you enjoy, are bad for you, aren't they?
Yeah, they make me feel lethargic. I'm, dragging my feet around all day. I've got headaches. But although doing this challenge for a month, it's helped me, I suppose, get all the toxins out of my body.
Right.
I hope so.
Now, when we last spoke, you gave us some fantastic and lovely renditions of your poems. Are you still writing poems?
I am, and I put them on one of my Facebook pages, and they help. I would like to think that people cope because they relate to them. So I'm writing what they're actually thinking.
So it's a case that, again, writing your poems, going out into the community, and of course with your Facebook page, you're just such a busy girl, aren't you, Sharon?
I can be. Sometimes there's not enough hours in the day. However, like I say, sometimes there isn't really a lot for me to do, hence me going to the gym, and I write a lot for an online newspaper called the Huffington Post. And if you go on that website, in the search bar, if you type in my name, Sharon Sutton, that will bring up all of my blogs.
Lovely. Right. Now, as I said, on my Gmail account, clivehort@gmail.com, we have drawn a huge response, question-wise. Hopefully, we were going to get my sister Jane Hort to join us for the conversation. And of course, you can, dear listener, too, on 01642 645 827. Or of course, go to my Gmail account, clivehort@gmail.com. Now, busy, because you live in Durham, don't you? So,
I do.
Are you busy not only in the Durham area, but around the northeast?
Well, I go to a drop-in group once a week when I can find time, when I'm not so busy, and I go there because people have got mental health problems, and I talk to them, and it gets them out once a week, because a lot of them have a bit of anxiety, and they don't like to leave the house, and they actually find that hard. It's not as easy as you think when you're suffering from anxiety and a little bit paranoia maybe, and that gives them something to focus on by coming out the house once a week.
Right. So, of course, as I say, we are talking mental health this morning. And, of course, you're going to the gym shortly, but can you stick around for a couple of more minutes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yay. Fantastic. Thank you, Sharon. Right. We have Sharon Sutton, me, Bipolar, and I, and, of course, her Facebook page as well. We're talking more about mental health after a bit of the Spice Girls and Wannabe on Ignition Radio. That's the Spice Girls and Wannabe. A very good morning, 10:18, and we have the lovely Sharon Sutton here this morning. Me, Bipolar, and we're talking mental health issues. Now, we've had a massive response, Sharon, from my Gmail account, and I was wondering, can I just fire a couple of questions to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no,
I mean, you've had a look at them before, so let's have a go. Let's see what response we get anyway. Right, Rob from Fairfield asks, with the current austerity measures in place and the current government looking for savings in most departments of up to 20%, do you think the government is investing enough in mental health?
Well, everybody's opinion's different. However, the likes of waiting times if you go to your doctor, for argument's sake, and you need to be going to a mental health team, perhaps, to talk about things and all the rest of it. There needs to be money put in for mental health in that area, so people aren't waiting as long, because some people are, waiting a very long time, and, as long as the government say, we're going to do X, Y and Z, A, B and C, they need to stick to that. Otherwise people are getting their hopes up and they just don't want to be let down, and, if they don't do as they claim to saying that, like, we promise this, we promise that, they should really stick to it, because more money does need to go into that area, like.
Yeah, because it's all about investment. If you don't invest enough, then of course mental health does suffer, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, definitely. People get run down if there's nobody to talk to. They come withdrawn, and they really need help, and dropping groups help, and I think if there was more of them, then that would help more people in the community, as opposed to like a massive waiting list to go through mental health services to see the likes of a psychologist, a psychiatrist, counsellors, although, obviously some people may still want or need to do that.
Yeah. Now, Sandra from Thornby, now we're talking about accessing information here, Sharon, asks, what's the best way of accessing information about mental health issues? Well, of course, the first thing would be to go to your Facebook page.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I deal mainly in depression and bipolar disorder. However, I like to signpost people to different communities, groups, mental health services in their area if they don't really know where to go. And also talking to family and researching online does help a lot, because they can also work out where the nearest place is to go in their community, but helping does talk a lot, because if you bottle your feelings up, people get really frustrated and they don't know what to do, but there's no shame at all in asking for help.
Absolutely. CliveHort@gmail.com if you'd like to ask a question, or 01642 645 827. I know, Sharon, that you're going to be disappearing off to the gym shortly, so we won't keep you for too long.
That's fine.
James from Newtown asks, what would be the best advice for someone who has mental health issues but is afraid to go to their GP?
Like I answered in the previous question, it is a good idea to go through your GP. However, if you research in Google and you type in talking changes, they're able to help people, a lot, and they advise on like the next step, what you can do to promote your mental health and get better.
Yeah, it's all about talking about it, because Janice from Norton asks, why is bipolar stroke mental health still often treated as a taboo subject?
Because there's so much stigma and discrimination, Clive, around these mental health illnesses. But the more people talk about it, the more it's not such a taboo subject. Like you said, many years ago, it was not talked about at all, and people didn't really have a clue what to do. But there's more help in society now. And if people find out about the help, then you get better. And
yeah. Okay. Now, Margaret from Thornby, final question, and thank you for answering these. I mean, you know, I do get a bit conscious when I just fire these questions at people,
Don't worry about
but thank you, Sharon. Margaret from Thornby finally asks, is current medication stroke ways of treating bipolar effective, or would a more holistic alternative route be the best way to treat bipolar?
To be honest, the holistic ways of treating bipolar, I've never looked into that myself. Personally, I don't take an antidepressant because they don't really work for me. However, I do take what you call a mood stabiliser, not to be confused with the two. It helps me a lot because it gets me out of a lot of my depression. However, some people think it's a wonder drug, and that's not really the case, because you still have your highs and you still have your lows. And you know, I don't know what it's like for the people that are on this sort of medication, but maybe it's in my head, as it were, that because I take this medication that I'm going to get loads better, you know.
Yeah.
But I can't deny that it personally does help me, but it took a while to take effect. You've got to persevere with medication because it's not going to work overnight.
No, and of course, different people who suffer with mental health or bipolar approach it with different ways of treating it, of course.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Well, as I say, it's a pity because I love your poems as well. You're such an artist when it comes to your poems. I love them.
There's other ways of saying them, like if you go onto the Huffington Post and you type in Sharon Sutton, you'll find some there. I've also got a new Facebook page which entails all my work in regards to bipolar disorder, and you'll find some blogs and poems on that page, not forgetting my main Facebook page called Me, Bipolar and I, which has gone worldwide, and I help all sorts of people from different walks of life.
Of course, it's all about accessing the right information, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, and in the right place.
Of course. And of course, with your Me, Bipolar and I, you're going to become a very, very busy woman. Not that you're not already, but it's going to absolutely take off, isn't it?
Yeah, I had an email not long ago, and I was asked to submit a blog, and if that was sort of good enough, I mean, a lot of people applied, and they were wanting people to be one of the faces of Time to Change, so my blog got forward and accepted, so I was invited to London to do this photo shoot, and hopefully the images will be released on the website and in literature over the next couple of years. I can't pinpoint exactly when because I haven't found out myself, but people can identify me from my profile picture on the Me, Bipolar and I page and see my face, you know, hopefully internationally at some point. Wow. However, I am recognised by the International Bipolar Foundation in the United States of America and Bipolar UK. Wow.
I mean, you're going to be a very busy person if you are already, but of course, going to your Me, Bipolar and I, and of course your Facebook page as well, it's people are going to just be flooding you with questions, advice and information. It's going to be fantastic.
Hopefully I'll get there one day. I promote myself through events and conferences. I've got little business type cards advertising the Me, Bipolar and I Facebook page.
Right. Well, Sharon, again, thank you ever so much for taking time out from your busy schedule.
Thank you very much for inviting me into Ignition Radio. I'm honoured that people have actually taken notice of what I do, and you know, I like the recognition for it.
Well, the thing is, as I say, when you come in and you talk openly about bipolar and mental health issues, it draws such a big response to my Gmail account and of course here as well at Ignition, and thank you for that.
Not a problem. The more it's talked about, you know, the less stigma and discrimination surrounding it, and there's no shame in it whatsoever.
Absolutely. Well, Sharon, thank you once again. And, oh, yes.
I was going to say, not long ago, I was invited to an event, and I don't know if anybody's heard of the finding Mike. It was sort of like a campaign. This man a few years ago wanted to commit suicide, and he was sat on London's Waterloo Bridge, ready to take his life, and luckily somebody came along and spoke to him and talked him out of doing so, and he didn't know who helped him for quite a few years, and he set about trying to find the person who helped him, and he finally found Mike. Not that it's his real name, however, I actually found Johnny Benjamin on Twitter, and when I went to this conference, I didn't expect him to actually be there, so it was lovely because I jumped at the chance of having a photograph with him. Again, that's on me Facebook, me Bipolar and I page, and I was honoured that I actually got to shake his hand and speak to him. He's an absolute inspiration, and obviously so is the person that saved his life.
Of course, that's what's it all about, isn't it? Inspiration, motivation.
Oh yeah, they've both become extremely famous, yeah.
Well, again, Sharon, thank you ever so much for coming in and talking about me, Bipolar and I, and of course mental health. And we can invite telephone calls on 01642 645 827. Sharon, again, a big thank you to you.
Not a problem at all. Thank you very much for inviting me in.